All right, y'all. So I hope everybody's having a good day still. We are about where we're going to finish this strong. We're going to see the evolution of the Austrian Empire into Austria-Hungary. I know so many of you guys were like, I always thought it was called Austria-Hungary because that's what you heard it in eighth grade. But now we're going to see how that formed. And it's all because of the national tensions. I really like this map. It really illustrates the ethnic division. This would be based on languages. We see where the red German area is really to the west. We see the Czechs around Bohemia and Moravia. We see some Slovenes. We see some Croats and Serbs, Romanians, Italians. So we just see, really, in this sense, we have this population, this multinational population, and Austria has always attempted to centralize in it using the Habsburg Empire, the Imperial Army, and Catholicism. So when we look at from 1848 to 1866, here's an image of Franz Joseph, really the last great of the emperors here. He attempted to stabilize German dominance. He actually created a policy under a guy named Andrew von Bachta. It's called Germanization, where he's attempting to create a German paradigm through the German language in hopes to create a German identity. That clearly is not going to work. The Hungarians or Magyars are going to resist. The Romanians, all of those groups are going to be like, no, we are not going to be oppressed by your language. Through a series of foreign policy failures from the Austro-Piedmont War to the Prussian War, really, the Austrian Empire is really becoming chaotic, polarized by these ethnic minorities. And Franz Joseph is going to be forced to kind of capitulate. After 1859, he allowed for the formation of a legislative assembly. After the Austro-Prussian War, where really this is the moment in which clearly Austria is in peril, he is going to make a significant change to prevent his empire. And that's going to be the dual monarchy. The dual monarchy, sometimes we call this the Ausgleich. I say it wrong. I don't speak German, sorry. But Ausgleich, the compromise. The compromise of 1867 is where Franz Joseph granted the Magyars or Hungarians constitutional rule. This is a great map. This color over here, that's going to be the new Hungary. This is Austria. The Austrians are going to be primarily the German people with some minorities. The Magyars over here, they're the second largest minority group, ethnic group inside the German Empire. And he's going to say, hey, if the Magyars have power, if we satisfy the Magyar liberals by giving them constitutional rule, maybe they would be satisfied. And this new Austria-Hungary would remain united by the Habsburg dynasty, Catholicism, and imperial military. So in this sense, the Austro-Hungarians, they would still be under the same foreign policy. Franz Joseph is the emperor of both. And then we begin to see kind of what happens here. How does Austria-Hungary, because now they're two separate entities, what's going to happen here? Well, the Austrians, they're going to remain ethnically polarized. The Czechs, Poles, and other Slavic groups are going to demand their self-determination. They don't quite fit here. And I like this image here. It really shows you that nearly 50% of the population are Slavic, Serb, Slavic, Czech, Slovenian, Polish, Croat, Bulgarian, Ruthenian, and other groups. Tons of people, 26 million. Is right about 50% there. And we just see that element. But on the other side, you have some other groups. And when we look at this, Hungary is going to attempt to forge a national identity. They actually create this policy of Magyarization. Magyarization is the forcing them to utilize the Magyar or Hungarian language. And it's going to have the same effect as Germans. Germanization. People are going to reject it. The Magyar elite, they had political power. So this constitution did not allow for universal male suffrage. It allowed the Magyar elite to maintain dominance over this government. So yes, there's constitutionalism here, but it's definitely not nationalism. And on the eve of the First World War, Austria-Hungary was not a stable empire. teetering on the brink of revolution, which ultimately brings us to the end. I know this is a quick overlook. We're looking at the idea of Europe. Europe in 1914, the only country that has a semblance of real stability is going to be the British, the United Kingdom of Great Britain. But we know that Ireland is still a ginormous question. We know the third French Republic is polarized between the monarchist new right and the radical Republicans, with the moderate Republicans really trying to hold on to power. We know the Second German Empire, or the Second German Reich, is polarized with Weltpolitik, with both the far left SPDs filling in power, as well as the pan-German future Nazis filling in power. Now we're going to see this complete chaos. We know Russia has had a series of faux reforms that really doesn't satisfy them. They're on the verge of complete collapse under self-rule. Austria-Hungary is completely divided, not really identified as a single state, but have two separate governments that are trying to work together, and yet it's chaotic. We also see the Ottoman Empire is shrinking, creating a power vacuum. We're going to talk about that in the next unit. And we know Italy is in a really bad situation. I've already identified the quote. Now, we have made Italy, now we must make Italians. There's no real Italian, national identity. So on the verge of World War I, through the social Darwinist ideas, we're on the verge of the most chaotic war that we will have seen since the 30 Years' War. And we're going to see how deadly it is, how it's industrial war, and really it becomes a war of ideology. And people are going to fight until the death. And I'll introduce those kind of elements a little bit later. I hope that makes sense. You guys have a great day.